In this video, let's go over on what to expect for this week and to keep you guys prepared for this week. So in this video, we do have a lot of great setups for this week, which I want to go over. Subscribe with the notifications on. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. And go to sundaystocktalk.com for the free weekly email newsletter and follow me on Twitter. So let's get started. We have a lot going on this week in terms of the economic calendar and the earnings. So we have a lot of earnings this week. We have Palantir, Lucid, Chegg, Paramount on Monday. On Tuesday, we have UPS, AMC. AMC is going to be a huge one. We have Rivian, Upstart, Twilio, and Celsius reporting on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have Roblox, Sony, Disney. Okay, again, we are holding 10 shares of Disney. I'll be holding through the earnings play, but this is going to be a huge one on what happens this week with Disney. We also have Wendy's this week. And then on Thursday, we have Six Flags and U.S. Foods. So this is what we're taking a look at for earnings. A lot of earnings, a lot of interesting one. Definitely a lot of ones if you want to play, if you want to do a hit or miss lotto on. But especially for Disney and AMC, these are some huge earnings that are happening this week. Now we also have a huge catalyst this week, which is the inflation numbers. So on Thursday, we have the CPI. So again, just like every other time we have a CPI, before market open on Thursday, we're going to have it priced in 1 hour before market opens. You're going to see the numbers, and the data will be out on cnbc.com. So just be expected with that we're either going to gap up or gap down by 1% for these numbers. Inflation has been cooling down, and so far everything is looking really good for inflation. Friday, we also have the PPI, which is another inflation indicator. So now let's take a look at the charts. We have a lot of great setups going on into this week. We're taking a look at the SPY, and we saw that we broke our consolidation period to the downside, and now we have more room to the downside. So 444 is our area for calls. This is where we are bullish, and if we do drop at market open, this is going to be our area for calls to buy in. So this is the area for calls. We definitely do have a little bit more room to the downside. If we could just drop down by 0.6%, that is going to really be it. But until we hit this level, so we touch down and then we can bounce off from here. So this is our scenario for this week. We go down, we bounce off from here and come back all the way to 459. So this is what we are taking a look at to just hold this level of support. Okay, to hold this level, 444 is going to be really just our main area right now, especially if we take a look at the RSI. The RSI is hitting right around the level of support, and then we also have the technical analysis and the psychological analysis of the chart also hitting the level of support. So this is our analysis and our thesis for this week. Next, we have QQQ, which is the tech ETF, and we can really see that it has already really hit the level of support at 372. So QQQ does look bullish, especially if we take a look at something like Apple. Apple dropped a lot from earnings, so this might be really a nice bounce off for tech this week, because we already dropped, especially the past couple of days, we dropped a lot for tech. So potential gap to the upside to fill the gap to the upside since we had Apple earnings. So this is what we are taking a look for QQQ. It looks bullish down, but we really just need to hold this level of support, or else it could get really ugly if we do break this level. Then we have more room to the downside. So for both SPY and for both QQQ, we really need to hold this level, or else it is not going to look good. Now our first play for this week for options is going to be AMD. AMD looks amazing for a options day trade and swing trade. We're taking a look at the weekly and we're taking a look at the daily. It has an amazing setup on the daily, 4 calls to the upside and 4 puts to the downside. So the great thing about, again, a symmetrical triangle is we can play calls to the upside if we do break to the upside, and then we could also play puts to the downside depending on what the market does. So I'm taking a look at AMD. We needed to get tighter, but if we start breaking this at market open, that is going to be our area for calls above 117. AMD looks really nice above 118. Again, just go to tradingview.com and chart these levels out. Bullish above our green zone and bearish below our red zone. If we close above and we start breaking this on the 5-minute, that is going to be our area, and that is going to be the breakout area for AMD. So AMD looks very nice, especially if we take a look at kind of like the past chart for AMD. It is having a really nice continuation phase to the upside, but we definitely do have some sort of possibility to the downside. One thing that we want to keep in mind, but it really depends on how the market performs this week and what the market sentiment is, and especially if the market does hit the level of support and we do bounce back, this could be a really nice play. So this is why I'm loving to play on AMD, especially on the weekly time frame. It looks a little bit even better, showing us more room to the downside to potentially hit to the all-time highs and to catch up with Nvidia and all of our other stocks that are having earnings. So Nvidia already hit all-time highs and AMD hasn't, so that is a potential that we are taking a look for AMD. Next we have Coin, which has a nice flag, kind of like a falling wedge type of flag going on for Coin, and we're taking a look at the daily time frame. I really love this consolidation phase for Coin. So we're in this downside and we have this flag forming, and look how tight it is getting. So I'm taking a look at calls above our green area over here. So I'm just taking a look at calls, and I really like this play. If I zoom in a little bit more, if we can really break above at market open and we hit this level of resistance and we start pushing to the upside, this is going to be a very nice bullish play. I really love the setup for a day trade on Coin to play this breakout and the pop. If we do close above, we could see a nice continuation to the upside, but this is what we are taking a look at for Coin. So next we have Disney. We're holding 10 shares. Again, we have a lot of shares. We had Snow, we had Autodesk, we have Target shares, and we have IWM shares. So Snow, we're just holding 10 shares. We have earnings this week, and it's just going to be, again, hit or miss, but we're holding through earnings. So just keep in mind of that, especially with the Hollywood strike and all of that. Let's see what happens this week for Disney. It is going to be a very interesting. This is going to be the most interesting earnings this week. Disney earnings and AMC earnings. This is what we are taking a look at for Disney. So we're also holding Autodesk shares, which has a nice symmetrical triangle. I have 10 shares on Autodesk. I love the setup. On the weekly time frame and the daily time frame, it is getting very tight, but again, we're just playing very chill, laid back play on Autodesk. So it really depends on what happens in the earnings. This stock doesn't really move in earnings, but overall, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe with notifications on.